Hello, I'm Pamela Anise. I'm the Director of Programming and Branding for Lit 97.1, totally lit for hip hop and R&B and throwbacks. You can find me every afternoon, 3 until 7, Monday through Friday. We are streaming live at lit971.com. Now, today I have the great pleasure of introducing my friend and sister, Evelyn Hall. I've known Evelyn for many years and we've had many spicy conversations. And today we are going to let you in on one of those private conversations. The ideal and goal of this podcast is to normalize conversations about sex so that we can empower people, especially women, to not be afraid to speak about sex with your partner. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the beautiful, intelligent, and inspiring Evelyn Hall and her new podcast called Please Me. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, Pam. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for that introduction. I am so happy to finally be here, sitting down with you and making this idea of a podcast to help empower women and men around the topic of sexual health a reality. A little bit about me. I'm a body positive, bisexual woman who has reached what I believe to be the pinnacle of my sexual health and freedom of expression in life thus far. And I want to share that knowledge that I have gained in my experience with others. My goal is to help people understand that we are all sexual beings and we were built for pleasure. Sex is, after all, how we all got here. So I really want to encourage us to talk more frankly and honestly about it. I'd like to take the shame out of the conversations around sex and take it off the taboo shelf and bring that conversation to the forefront. I'm a big fan of podcasts that bring to light these topics and conversations, and this one will focus on these topics in layman's terms. I'd like to explore with my guests and audience what it means to be a sexual human being in the year 2023.
This sounds so exciting, and I'm glad that you're finally putting it out into the world. Now, what spicy topics and goals do you have to achieve with this podcast?
Thank you. Yes, the topics will definitely be spicy. I want to cover a whole host of topics, including how to talk about sex with a new partner, how to bring up the topic of contraception, how to talk about getting tested for STIs so that a couple can enjoy their sex life safely, what to say with more casual encounters to protect yourself, what STIs are, or sexually transmitted infections are, and how they are transmitted. I want to talk about sexual identity, how we choose to identify as sexual beings. I want to talk about sexual dysfunction, female sexual dysfunction, as well as male sexual dysfunction, such as erectile dysfunction. I want to talk about alternative relationships and how the traditional man marries woman is not the only option out there. I want to talk about LGBTQ relationships, gender fluidity, and identification. I want to talk about sexual abuse and how it causes sexual dysfunction and how you can heal from that trauma. I want to talk about books, all the great books about sexual health out there. There are so many books with lots of information that needs to be disseminated. So I will be covering all the juicy bits. Mm-hmm. Some examples of books that I want to discuss are Becoming Cliterate, The Ethical Slut, The 5 Love Languages, She Comes First, and so many more. I want to talk about statistics. I love me a good statistic, and I think they speak volumes to the problems that we are having in our society regarding sex. For instance, studies show that only 3 to 5% of women can orgasm by penetration alone. Most women need clitoral stimulation either by itself or in conjunction with penetration in order to orgasm. Unfortunately, when we see sex depicted in movies and on television, sex is always shown to depict penetrative sex and women having orgasms this way. Not only is that misinformation, but it makes women feel that there is something wrong with themselves when they can't orgasm in that way. Well, newsflash, most women can't. But men and women need to know this statistic so that we can all get on the same page when it comes to a woman's pleasure. We will cover this topic and many, many others in more detail, and the list goes on and on.
Oh my goodness, it really does go on and on. You have a plethora of things to discuss on this podcast. It's so exciting. I'd actually love to hear more about what you do professionally and what brought you to be right here at this point right now.
Thank you. I am a physical therapist by profession, and over the years, I've helped many patients who have come to me with questions regarding, for example, sexual positions, if they have back pain, or a knee injury. I always enjoyed working with these patients because I felt that I was not just helping them with their injury, but I was also adding value to their quality of life. Having a healthy sex life definitely goes hand in hand with having a better quality of life. Wouldn't you agree?
Totally. I totally agree.
After
What
all,
was,
we all need love and attention.
yes, don't we? Those must have been some very interesting conversations. What other types of treatments do you do for sexual wellness and health?
I have a specialty in working with the pelvic floor, and I also offer treatment to get to the root of the problem of erectile dysfunction as well as decreased vaginal sensitivity. The technology is called acoustic wave therapy. What it does is it opens up blockages in the blood vessels in the groin, whether male or female, in order to increase blood flow. It also encourages new capillaries to form over time, which also helps create even more blood flow. Blood flow equals erections or a female engorgement, which is a woman's version of a hard on. With greater blood flow, we can experience greater pleasure and satisfaction.
Wow. Well, I understand that you're also a certified health coach. Now, how does this come into play with sexual health?
Yes, I am a health coach and I help my clients make small tweaks in their nutrition in order to make them healthier from the inside out. I discuss nutrition with my clients and express to them that 80% of health is nutrition. With good nutrition, we can have healthier bodies and thus healthier sex. For instance, most people don't know that men and women should have, on average, 10 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. The average American eats 1.5 servings a day. As you can see, we are not calorie poor in this country, we are nutritionally poor. And this leaves our bodies susceptible to all forms of diseases. Often sexual disease or dysfunction is a precursor to other health-related issues such as heart disease. Eating more fruits and vegetables can help you protect your body from many, many diseases.
Now, Evelyn, I know you mentioned loving stats. You love a good stat, right? So,
Mhm.
can you give us a little taste of some statistics on men and women regarding sexual dysfunction?
Absolutely. Many people are unaware that almost 50% of women will experience sexual dysfunction in their lifetime, such as painful intercourse, trouble reaching orgasm, no sex drive, vaginal dryness, and decreased vaginal sensitivity. Also, most people don't know that 20% of men have erectile dysfunction in their 20s, and that goes up by 10% per decade. So 50% of men in their 50s have erectile dysfunction. It's very common, but it's often not discussed. I want to normalize the conversation about sexual health so that people can go out and find help if they are experiencing any type of sexual dysfunction.
Very interesting. Can you tell us what the name of your practice is and how your listeners can reach you to ask any questions or even schedule an appointment or a consultation?
Absolutely. The name of my practice is Inspire Health Physical Therapy and Wellness, and I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and my email is nutritionmadesimple@gmail.com for any questions or comments you may have. Thank you all for listening today, and thank you, Pamela and Nice, for being my very first guest and the one to introduce this podcast to the world. I am hopeful that this podcast has an audience not just in the United States of America, but in the world at large. Remember, our bodies were built for pleasure, and sex is how adults play. Let's take the taboo out of conversations around sex and go have some fun. Now, before you go, I want you to all try this at home. The next time you take a shower, and once you're all done and squeaky clean, turn the water just a touch hotter and let it run over your neck and back. Feel how the water hits your back and neck and luxuriate in it. Then let the water hit your arms and pay attention to how that feels. The point of this exercise is to stop, slow down, and enjoy the everyday moments where we can tune into our bodies and marvel in the delicious sensations that we often overlook. Love yourself first and foremost. Always protect yourself and wrap it up. And if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. Visit my website, pleaseme.online, and fill out the questionnaire that will help pick out our next topic. Until next time, thank you so much.